Oh, would you look at that? I had a nap and seemed to have woken up in 2016. Haven't we seen this episode before? Isn't this a rerun? Don't you just love it when two of the most well-known creators on this platform have a dick swinging contest in front of their armies of 12-year-old fans? Brilliant. So there's a lot I want to go over in this video. Obviously, it is about H3H3 and Keemstar. So here's the situation. H3H3 did a content nuke on Keemstar. Brilliant inspired name, by the way. 46 minutes long of drama that we already know about. There was nothing really new to add to the conversation. We know that Keemstar is a bit of an arsehole. We're all aware. Okay, cool. And then Keemstar responded, yelling. And then H3H3 followed up with another video. And essentially, it has devolved to two boomers yelling at each other. No wonder he called the video Nuclear Fallout when everyone's being so fucking toxic right now. It's important to note that these two people do not like each other and have had ongoing issues for many years. Does it take away or devalue some of the points they make? Either of them? No, of course not. But it's worth noting that these two people really don't like each other. There's a lot of ground to cover and there's a lot of points I want to make, so I'm not going to go through the videos themselves. I'm not going to do that. You can go watch the videos yourself if you have a spare 2 hours. I don't even know actually where to begin. Both of them have valid points about each other. I'm not biased to either one. I'm not picking a side. I think there's validity to both their points. One of them might have more points than the other that are more valid. I'm not going to say anything really more on that. I guess the first point that I want to address is primarily, stop weaponizing your fan bases. How about that? So, in H3's first video, he more than subtly implies that his fan base should go after Keemstar's sponsor. You can argue with me and say he knew what he was doing. He's not an idiot. He has a platform of, 6 million people. He knew what he was doing. G Fuel gets a bunch of criticism and drops Keemstar. Keemstar says that he walked away from them. Remains to be seen whether you trust Keemstar's words or not. And in retaliation, Keemstar's fans... I'm smiling because it's like, fuck me. We're really at this level, huh? When two of the most well-known creators on the platform are involved in this, like, smearing shit on the wall contest against each other and their little 12-year-old sycophants. Not to blame the children, of course, because the kids don't know what they're doing. I sound like such a boomer myself. The kids don't know what they're doing. Get off my internet lawn. H3H3 just got dropped from Old Spice. Firstly, I had to say I am on the side of don't go after people's sponsors. Just don't do it because it's setting a really bad precedent for other creators on the platform. Apparently some people don't see it this way though and think that, oh, this is exclusive just to Keemstar and H3 right now and there couldn't possibly be any ramifications for anyone else if this behaviour becomes normalised. Incredibly short-sighted. Sorry, but have you met the internet? Give people an inch and they'll take it a mile. If we start normalising this behaviour of, you've done something that I don't like, I'm going to target your sponsors. Sponsors don't care about... Firstly, they're not the moral police. It's the equivalent of like going up to the teacher and being like, teacher, oh, Daniel's being rude and Ethan's like kicking him. Sponsors aren't teachers or like authoritative figures. So like, I don't know, snitching to the sponsors just seems kind of juvenile and petty to me in that regard. But a sponsor isn't going to care about whether someone's right or wrong. They're just going to care about the amount of backlash they are getting. Someone could be completely in the right, but if enough people dislike that person and complain to a sponsor, they're just going to see the numbers and they are going to drop that person. And if we normalise this behaviour, it's inevitably going to happen to people who haven't done really anything wrong. You can be the nicest person in the world and there are still going to be people out there who do not like you for whatever reason. This is just a fact of life. And the mob, I've talked about this in my mob mentality video, the mob is so fucking fickle. What if someone does something wrong? The mob goes after them, gets rid of their sponsors, ruins their life, essentially, or whatever, you know, wants to make sure they have no financial backing or support or anything. It wouldn't just stop at sponsors, by the way. The bloodthirst of the mob wouldn't just stop at sponsors. I'll get to more of that in a minute. And then we find out that that person actually didn't do anything wrong. Oh no. Well, we've just been on this campaign of hatred for, I don't know, weeks or whatever. And if you're saying to me, oh, Alizee, but that many people couldn't possibly be wrong. James fucking Charles, I'll bring it up time and time again. 3 million people, including myself, got that wrong, didn't we? James Charles, okay? But people are justifying this type of behaviour because it's against someone they don't like, namely Keemstar, or on Keemstar's, fan base side, H3H3. I don't know who said this. Maybe I'm just making it up. I remember someone once said, if you don't believe in freedom of speech for your worst enemy, then you don't believe in freedom of speech at all. I'm not saying this is a freedom of speech issue, but I think there is a similar thought experiment going on here. If you support this type of behaviour for someone that you hate because you feel it's justified, get ready to support it for someone you like it happening to when it inevitably happens to someone you like, because it will, because we are normalising this type of behaviour and it's not on. And I did see some people on Twitter being like, where, like wealthy YouTubers, blah, 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 blah. It's not as if they're going after people's Patreons or AdSense or PayPal. Do you think it will stop at sponsors? Do you really think it will stop at that? People are fucking bloodthirsty, man. If you can't see how there will be ripple effects, and someone else replied saying people are using this could affect small creators argument to defend Keemstar. I ain't defending Keemstar. But if you can't see that there would be ripple effects and it would affect smaller creators, because if you see this behaviour, again, I'm repeating myself, being normalised by 2 of the biggest creators on the platform, of course other people are going to get ideas. Of course people are going to try and use it against each other. No one's coming after my Raid Shadow sponsorship. No, but of course it will have a knock-on effect that will inevitably affect someone who maybe hasn't done something wrong. And of course it didn't just stop with going for G Fuel. There were some Reddit users complaining to Spotify to try to get Keemstar deplatformed from Spotify because he has a podcast. But he does that podcast with Face Banks and Colossal is Crazy, right? So fuck them both, I guess. Pfft, collateral damage, am I right? Where does it end? I would now usually give a list of examples, more extreme than the next, exaggerated for comedic purpose, of how it just won't end. But I don't think that I should say those types of things, because there might be someone out there that's like, do you know what? That's a fucking good idea. I'm just not going to say anything. Where does it end? Does this mean people shouldn't be held accountable? Of course it doesn't, but thanks for the question. But when did Joe, random public 15-year-old, become judge, jury and executioner? And let's be real, it is teenagers mainly doing this, because the fan bases of both 2 people we're talking about, it's mainly comprised of teenagers. Nothing wrong with that. It's for a few teenagers that follow me. I'm just saying. Teenagers who think they're in some sort of online war. It's too laughable. Man, I can't take this shit seriously. YouTube is fucked. I'm going to get to that point in a minute. YouTube is fucked. What has this platform become? When boomers... They're not even boomers. They're in their mid-phase. Boomers are getting... their fan bases do their dirty work, and you can say that they're not, but they are. The fan bases are in this stupid little war of which creator is more toxic than the other, and none of them are really going to change their minds. H3H3's fans are still going to stay his fans, and Keemstar's fans are still going to stay his fans, so it's just a shit-flinging contest. Whilst the 2 titans dick swing for a bit. I actually saw a comment on H3's video that said, and had a lot of likes, that said, I genuinely think Keemstar would kill people if he could. He would straight up murder people if he knew he could get away with it. We're talking about loudmouths on the internet, not Charles Manson. What? Well, it is nice to see that Ethan's fan base use the same level of hyperbole as he does. So there's a lot of dogpiling, mob mentality-esque stuff going on right now. The best part is this will all be forgotten by next week, maybe the week after. It's a vicious cycle. And then it will just start up again when either one of them wants attention. I would love to ask both of them, what do you 2 genuinely want to come out of this situation? What's the end goal here? I mean, it's kind of like Ethan just finally got around to watching iDubbbz's content cop on Keemstar. And he was like, Ian, can I copy your homework? And Ian's like, sure, just change it a little bit though. You know what I mean? Oh, and before I forget, footage was dug up of Keemstar going after someone's sponsors a few years ago. This is bad behaviour too. Surely nothing more needs to be said other than, hey, guys, don't fucking do this. Don't go after people's sponsors. I mean, unless someone's done something really fucked up. Like kill someone. Fuck me, that's some turbo-capitalist, dystopian future right there, isn't it? G Fuel or Raid Shadow Legends sponsoring serial killers. You would think a lot of this goes without saying. I feel like I finally understand when my parents would say to me, I don't care who started it, but I'm going to finish it. This tit-for-tat behaviour just turns into a vicious cycle. Saying, oh, well, he did it years ago, so let's do it to him and it's justified and blah, 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 a taste of his own medicine. I don't think that's conducive. I don't think that's going to help. Tit-for-tat behaviour. Eye for an eye and all that. I just don't think it's very helpful. It makes him a hypocrite for sure. And one can say that without having to stoop to the same level of, well, you did it to someone, I'm going to do it to you. It just breeds contempt and it's not helpful. It doesn't make someone want to reflect on their actions when you do that. It just makes them even more stubborn and put up more of a wall. The thing is, with the whole going on sponsorships thing and weaponizing your fan base, it's such a slippery slope. I did see on Twitter that Keemstar quote tweeted someone and said, don't do this, don't go after H3 sponsors. Whether he had ulterior motives by putting that up remains to be seen. Let's not go too much into that. But it already shows that the situation's out of control. If Keemstar is at a superficial face value level saying, hey, don't do this thing, and his fan base are doing the thing, just shows it's out of control, really. Can't control the mob of angry 14-year-olds. The thing is about this situation is there is an entirely bigger picture that is bigger than just Keemstar or H3 or their fan bases or commentators on YouTube or whatever. There's a bigger picture and bigger conversation to be had. So moving on to my next point, etiquette. People using someone's suicide as a pawn in their chess game. Maybe don't do that. No need for it. How do you think his family would feel to see that someone's unfortunate suicide is being used as a bartering chip between two people's angry, for the most part, petty drama? There is absolutely a conversation to be had about mental health, but I just don't think Keemstar or Ethan are qualified to have that conversation. Like, I'm sorry if you disagree with that, but I just don't think these two people are qualified to be having that conversation on such a public level. It's... the whole thing, to me, is incredibly distasteful. Just don't bring people who can no longer speak for themselves into your ridiculous argument. And as for my next point, YouTube is fucked and we need to look at the bigger picture here. Like the big picture. Because something is going to give. Do you think it's going over YouTube HQ's heads that two of their most popular, well-known, infamous, notorious content creators are having very public beef with each other? I think a lot of people tried to blame maybe only one thing for the adpocalypse when that happened. Remember that? You know, some people solely blame PewDiePie, or some people blame those videos that I think had the racist titles that Coca-Cola was accidentally sponsored on. The song video, from memory, it was a few years ago. But I think what played a part in it was the general shitty, toxic behaviour. People getting their fan bases on each other and causing toxic drama. You can have, dare I say, fun drama, and you can talk about drama and talk about other people and criticise them without it devolving into just insults or abusive behaviour. And I think that was a factor in the first adpocalypse. And so it's like the adpocalypse happened and everyone had to start behaving a bit better. And now it feels like it's going... I'm not saying it was a good thing. Oh God, this is a sticky one to navigate. So I don't think the adpocalypse was a good thing at all. The bigger picture here is something is going to have to give. Because if not, I don't think it's unreasonable to predict that an Adpocalypse 2, Electric Boogaloo, is going to inevitably happen. Because if advertisers don't want to work with YouTube, what are YouTube going to do from a business perspective? They still need to make money. And then everyone gets fucked over yet again. Partly due to, well, inept management on YouTube's side, but the shitty behaviour of bigger content creators who should know better. It wouldn't be a sole reason, but it could be a contributing factor. Then again, it could be said that YouTube HQ is dumb for being, you know, a pushover and allowing this type of behaviour to happen on their platform. And I hate saying stuff like that because I don't want intervention from YouTube, because for the most part I think they are ran by inept donkeys. But these two people are engaging in online warfare and their fan bases are being weaponized. So maybe a higher authority does need to... I don't know. Because there's a big part of me that's like, nah, fuck authority. The rebel part of me, you know? Fuck government, fuck authority. Which is maybe the immature part of me. It's still there though. Less restriction, less legislation. But at the same time, you give people an inch, they take it a mile. And look what's happening right now. Armies of 12-year-olds taking YouTubers' sponsors down. How did we get to this point? You know, I used to think that YouTube was ran by donkeys with utter incompetence. But I can also see how, from a business perspective, it would be frustrating to see two of their big creators acting like fucking children. But whenever YouTube try to make changes or try to help the website, they're vilified, they're villains. Fuck YouTube. YouTube can't do anything right. Wow, I think I've finally grown up or something. You either die a filthy Frank or live long enough to see yourself become a YouTube. I'm Susan Wojcicki now. So I guess to sum up my thoughts, this whole situation is a fucking mess and people need to stop acting like children. Going after sponsors, bad. Swatting, bad. Doxing, bad. A lot of Keemstar's past behaviour, bad and or very questionable. At the same time, I don't believe H3 had the best intentions at heart when he brought all of this stuff up. I'm a very cynical and jaded individual. I do think he is trying to start drama for the sake of drama. Maybe both of them are. Something about this seems rather calculated. You know, because some people do believe the expression that all publicity is good publicity after all. Some people like being notorietous. Some people enjoy the notoriety. I just see this as a bit of a dick swinging contest. Realistically, this won't do anything to Keemstar's career. He'll probably recoup within a few months, because that's how YouTube is. Everyone forgets about stuff, and you know, if you just keep uploading regularly, then you'll probably be out of the red on Social Blade within a month or so. But I just don't think it's good to perpetuate or normalise this type of behaviour, especially not from two big content creators, because it will have a ripple effect and long-term ramifications for other users on the platform, especially if YouTube themselves goes, right, enough is enough, that's it, you're all on the naughty step now. Honestly, both of them should just log off for a week and calm down. Anyway, that's all for my video. I think I covered everything I want to say. Feel free to disagree with me en masse in the comments below, that's fine. I just think, oh, what a childish situation. Why is everyone on YouTube a child? Sometimes I feel like I'm the only adult. And it's weird because I never thought that I would ever feel like an adult. I'm still an idiot too, you know what I mean? Oh God. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, remember to like, comment, subscribe. I make new videos whenever I feel like it. Follow me on Instagram. Sub to me on Patreon if you want, because if Adpocalypse 2 comes around, I'm gonna need it. See you guys next time. Bye!